If you had to guess, approximately what percentage of your choices that you make in a day are based off of habits rather than conscious decision making? When you go to get a snack or watch another YouTube video or check your phone, is that because you made a conscious decision, or is it because it was easier to do that action than to not do it? According to Charles Duhigg, New York Times bestselling author and Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, it's roughly 45%. If you are new to this channel, hello, my name is AJ. I make a lot of videos about creativity, Christianity, and comedy, but if you're one of my subscribers, then you know that I love the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I've definitely made a lot of videos about habits and habit change and personal development, but today's video, I'm going to be relaying the top 5 most important lessons I learned from the book, The Power of Habit. Now, these come from the first 5 chapters, which are mostly interested in personal development and individual habit change. But Charles Duhigg does go into society and business, so I definitely recommend the entirety of this book. But these are the top 5 most important things that stuck out to me, and I think will be the most helpful for you in this video. So with that said, let's jump into the fundamental, the foundational, the most important lesson I learned from reading the book, The Power of Habit. So before reading this book, I wouldn't have been able to articulate how habits work, or at least what are the components that make up a habit. Now, there are 3 components in what Charles Duhigg calls a habit loop. There's a cue, a routine, and a reward. Now, here is an example of the habit loop working in my everyday life. The cue would be it's late at night and I get thirsty. The routine would be going and grabbing a soda or a pop or a sody pop or whatever you prefer to call sugary, caffeinated, carbonated beverages, and then I drink it. The reward is my thirst being quenched by a tasty, sugary, caffeinated, carbonated cola. Now, while that might not seem all that complicated, in truth, habits aren't. In principle, they're very easy to understand, but in practice, that's where the difficulty comes in, which leads me to the next most important lesson I learned from reading The Power of Habit. Now, our brains crave rewards once there's been a cue. If there's no reward, then it's not going to develop into a habit. We won't continue doing that specific action, that specific routine. Now, this makes a lot of sense because a lot of people will try and start habits, but they won't have proper rewards. People might start working out thinking that they're going to become more muscular and they'll be healthier and they'll feel better and look better especially. But if they don't see those results immediately, they'll probably give up because they're not being rewarded in the ways that they would have wanted to. Now, they know deep down, if they were more consistent, that they would experience those things, but since they're not experiencing those rewards, they're not going to do it. We need to be incentivized to do something, even something really small. We need to have an incentivization. Like, here's something small. If you click the like button, then YouTube will probably tell you, hey, here are more videos like this. So that'll be a reward for you. And it will be a reward for me because then I'm going to want to make more videos like this the more likes this video receives. So it'll be a reward on rewards because it will be cyclical and I will keep making videos for you and you will get to continue to enjoy them and gain information. Okay, that aside, there's more to the craving brain than just hitting the like button. What's really interesting is sometimes there will be a spike in brain activity before the reward even happens. Instead, it will be during the cue. So this is how you know something has become a really strong habit, which leads me to the third most important lesson I learned from reading The Power of Habit. Now, let's say I want to change this late night soda drinking habit. There are a ton of reasons that could lead me to find this behavior undesirable. Like, it's not good to have 140 calories right before I go to bed. It has access to sugar and caffeine, which will make it less easy to sleep. So when I try and change this habit, there are a couple ways I could go about doing it. But the golden rule for habit change is not changing the cues, it's not changing the reward, instead it's changing and isolating the routines, but keeping the cues and rewards the same. So if I'm being cued to drink something late at night, if I'm getting thirsty, what I should do is change the routine. If I'm being cued and the reward is having my thirst quenched, then I should have water. It's a healthier alternative. I should just drink that. But if the reward isn't just water or liquids, it's not just hydration, if it is also carbonation, if it's that feeling sensation, if that's the reward that I'm craving, then I should have seltzer water because it's still a healthier alternative to drinking soda. Now, this is not a knock against soda. I love soda. I think it has its proper place. But when it comes to habit change, that is the key. That is the most important and fundamental way to change a habit, is to isolate the routine, but keep the rewards and keep the cues the exact same. In addition to routine replacement, one thing that I can do is try and limit the amount of cues that I receive throughout the day. Or at least in this particular habit, I'm getting thirsty at night. So what I can do is drink more water throughout the day, and hopefully by the time it becomes evening, I won't be thirsty because I will have already had water throughout the day. This is a nice addition to the routine replacement because some habits are much stronger than others. And habits don't just work in isolation. They can affect each other. So it's important to know that habits are not mutually exclusive from one another. They affect other behaviors. And when you have one habit that creates a bunch of other small wins and small victories for a person, we call this a keystone habit. It's something that has the potential and the effects of creating a multitude of other victories. And one of the greatest keystone habits there is exercise. If an individual exercises, they're going to not want to negate that hard work. So if someone exercises, they're going to have a higher self-confidence, they're going to probably eventually feel healthier, and they'll have a higher self-worth. So they're not going to want to indulge themselves in undesirable or unhealthy behaviors because they've already had this small win. Charles Duhigg says that exercise spills over into other behaviors. Another good keystone habit is maintaining a clean room. If you make your bed in the morning, you're less likely to do other undesirable behaviors because you've started the day fresh. You've started the day with a victory, which will lead to other victories. Now, this can go in the reverse. When we start our days sluggish, when we start our lives sluggish, it can continue to affect other behaviors. These would be small losses as opposed to small victories. Keystone habits are incredibly powerful, and when we can use them to affect other behaviors, they can be almost unstoppable. Lesson number 5 that I want to share with you guys is on willpower. In the book, The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg goes over several different anecdotes complemented with a lot of academic research on human beings and their willpower. But one thing that I found to be the most interesting when it comes to human beings and their ability to overcome, by making goals, by deciding ahead of time, before the cue even occurs, we can experience a lot of change. So for instance, when I know I'm probably going to be thirsty late at night, if I decide ahead of time, when I am thirsty, I will have water, I will not have soda, I'm more likely to make that happen. But it has to happen ahead of time. I'm not going to just be able to muster it up then and there. I'm going to want to give into the cues and the routine and receive that reward. So by deciding ahead of time, when this happens, I will not, I'm more likely to see success. The Power of Habit is a phenomenal read. I can't recommend it enough. It's arguably going to be the best book that I read in 2020, and the lessons that I relate to you in this video are only from the first 5 chapters. So I want to encourage you to read the book in its entirety. There's a ton of wonderful information on society and business, and I really think you'll like that a lot. There's a link in the description so you can grab yourself a copy there. But in the meantime, I want to hear from you. What videos would you like to see me make next? Currently, I'm finishing up some videos on creativity and personal growth, but I'd love to hear from you. So that's it for this video. I love you guys. Peace, God bless, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Good luck with your habits.